What's up, good people? Um, Starving negativity. I had a couple like titles for this that I wanted to give it, but I think the best way to put what I want to say right now is to say it's about starving negativity. It's really about starving it. And I say that because negativity can come in the form of people, situations, you know, um, all kind of ways. Just think about it. Negativity can come at you all type of ways, right? But when you starve it, you almost like refusing to allow it to be what it's trying to be to you. You put yourself in a position where you say, you know what, I know face value, this might seem like a loss, a setback to most people. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to find how it can work for me in my favor. So that could be all types of ways. We can take anything and be like, okay, in the moment, yeah, this is not ideal in terms of what I want or what I need even, but how can I flip this? Let me figure out my win in this. So for example, I've had cars repoed, and it's a lot of reasons why that's happened to me. And as we keep building, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna share these types of situations because it is what it is. But I've had cars repoed, and I've thought about a lot of different scenarios how that worked in my favor. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I really truly say a repo worked in my favor, which is crazy. But I can really say that maybe it was meant for me not to have that car because there's a whole list of things that could be worse than them taking that car that them repoing the vehicle saved me from. That's the mindset that I want to, plant this seed on this channel in this video to really help y'all understand that, and that's what something that I deal with on a regular basis. It's taking things and saying, you know what, it might be negative to most people, but it's not going to be negative for me because I'm going to figure out something in this to make it work in my favor. It's this whole still shining mentality that I want to push with my brand and put that into y'all because that's important to me. And I know I'm not by myself with that. I call y'all my coworkers, my good people. You know what I'm saying? When I start my videos, what up, good people? Because I know it's good in us, man. We trying to do our best to make it through this, and it's not an easy situation, but at the same time, it's possible, and when I say fresh paint, it's possible because we can take something that's considered a negative and find something in it, which is applying that fresh paint, that different mindset, that perspective to be able to find the silver lining. And that's why I say still shine. You know what I'm saying? The only way is up. Glass not half empty, it's half full over here. So, that uphill battle, that struggle, that what we consider negative, that uphill battle, that grind, you leveling up though. Because if you take that other route, the easy route going downhill, you going down though. You know what I'm saying? You're not making no progress. So I truly feel, man, a lot of us need to hear that. We hear different versions of this. It's different people putting, they spin on it. But I truly feel like depending on who you are, sometimes you might hear something a certain way from certain people and it hit different. You might be at a point in your life where this video really speaking to you and you might have heard the message somewhere else at another time and it really didn't hit like that. So it's important that we keep these things floating in the algorithm, man. Somebody might find it just by you watching and engaging with this video. We open this up to other people that might need to hear this message. So it's a chain reaction. You know what I'm saying? It's a domino effect. And I really want to spend time focusing on, opening up this idea because we think that in the moment it's supposed to make us feel good about whatever it is we doing. We think in the moment, if it go left, then that means it's bad and it's negative. That's not always the case. You could lose your money and be like, you know what, I probably was going to buy some. It's like everything has a reaction to it. I don't know who's seen the movie Crash, but, it's like one event affects the next one and so forth. And then they all connected. And it's interesting how you never even thought that it was connected how it is, but things had to happen a certain way for it to all come together. And that's really where I'm at with it. I really didn't always have this perspective. But I think what happens is you go through enough, situations where you realize like, man, you know what? I really got to starve this, whatever it is that's hunting me, man, and find the good in it. You know what I'm saying? And be able to make it out on top at the end of all of this. So that's really where I want to go with it. I really want you guys to understand, man, pushing and getting through something is always the goal. To sit and have excuses of why you didn't achieve something and why you didn't do nothing, that does nothing for nobody, especially yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to sit and be a loser sitting on their excuses and feeling like, yeah, I could have did this and that, but this happened, that happened. You just talking. But what have you actually did? You know what I'm saying? What kind of results have you got out of life? So to be a person like myself that just don't quit, don't tap out, the reason for that is because I start changing the way I saw things, applying that fresh paint, man, putting myself in a position where I had to change. If one thing I could change, which is myself and my way of seeing something, I'd rather do that, because you can't always change things around you. You know what I'm saying? Things around you are going to be what they are, but you can change how you see it and start chipping away at that change you're looking for. Being able to take all these different things and going on your journey and your path and finding how you can flip things to work in your favor. That's really what it is. Get caught at that red light. Hey, it's a reason you got held off at that red light for 2 or 3 minutes. Stop rushing and thinking, oh man, this red light making me late, or this car moving too slow, and you driving around, you know what I'm saying, and end up hitting somebody else or whatever the case is. Sometimes you got to just let things happen around you and control yourself. End of the day, that's been the mindset that I've been on for a while now. So I'm really passionate about that. I know there's people out here that might be guilty of going around that car because things is moving too slow for you. But really, if you think about it, that's the natural course of life, and things happen in a certain way, which might be working in your favor. Parking spot you was going after get took. Maybe the car next to it gonna hit their car door, getting into their car and scratch the side of their car up. So maybe it was meant for you not to get the parking space. So now when you park somewhere else, you might find $20 on the floor. It's just these types of mindsets are what we need to be able to get ourselves to a better spot in life, man. Using these tools that are right in front of us for free. You don't got to go sign up for somebody's course and a class to be able to get this kind of message. You can start to apply this to your life at no cost. It's just where I'm at with it. So I don't want to hold you too long. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to make this point, and I appreciate you comment, subscribing, and let's build the channel, man. Let's build this community of like-minded people. I'm gonna start calling y'all my coworkers. I go by Artwork Geo. Work is in the name because it's a daily grind, but at the same time, I do artwork. I'm saying? I'm an artist. I create visual art, music, things like that, just a creative person. So I think it's only right. It's something I've been running with for a few years now. Always been Geo. Anybody know me know I've been Geo. But yeah, what I'm saying? Again, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't want to make this video too long, but if you found any value in what I'm saying tonight, I definitely appreciate you tapping into the algorithm. This is how we get more people who need to receive this message, aware that we exist over here. And, the channel been up for a good week now, and I'm seeing my subscribers. I'm at about 6 people right now. And I'm proud of that. I think these are truly 6 people that really connect with the message, man. I want it all organic. I want us to be able to look back and be like, man, I remember when this really started moving and was gaining traction, because eventually this will grow. This will be a bigger channel. This will be something that we can all look back and be like, man, we built this from nothing. So let's keep going, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And remember, man, the grind can be enjoyed. Negativity is what it is, but we got to find a way to flip the negative. We don't have to allow it to consume us and take over. So y'all be cool, man. I'll holler at you. It's work.